Howdy y'all, welcome back to yet another video. Today, I'm gonna be talking about the first time I got high. So, my older brother had a little get together with his friends, and I was the younger sibling. So, I was just hanging out in my room or whatever, and along comes my brother and he says, "Do you want to come and hang out with us?" And I was like, really? And he was like, yeah. So of course I took the opportunity and I went out there and I hung out with them. Now they were tripping on mushrooms, so I got to see them take the mushrooms. And obviously I was not allowed to take mushrooms, and I was not going to take mushrooms because I was way too young for that. But one of my brother's friends had this THC spray. So my older sister was also there, and she's the oldest of us. Then there's my older brother, and then there's me. And my older sister was with her boyfriend, and she said, yeah, you can have some sprays. So she sprayed some of it in my mouth, like 3 squirts in my mouth. And so I was ready to be tripping balls. Like, I was ready to, be like how you are in the movies. You see people and they're like sitting back in their chairs and they're just like spacing out, right? I was ready to be like that, and nothing kicked in. So eventually my sister and her boyfriend, they left, and so it was just me and my older brother and all of his friends, which there was like 3 of them, and then me. So there was 4 of us, and we were just by the campfire in the back of our bush. So my parents couldn't see us. They didn't really know what we were doing. I'm sure they suspected we were up to no good, but they didn't exactly know what was going down. So anyway, it's like maybe 3 hours later, and I still, or maybe not 3 hours, like 2 hours later, and I'm still not feeling anything from that spray, or at least I don't think I am. So I go to one of my brother's buddies, and I'm like, I don't feel any different. He's like, what do you mean? Like, you don't feel high or anything? I was like, no, I don't feel any different. So he's like, okay, open your mouth. And at this point, they were all mushrooms, so I'm pretty sure he was tripping. And he's like, okay, open your mouth. Or I don't even think he did. I think I sprayed it in my mouth. But anyway, he sprayed some in my mouth, and then I took it, and then later I was spraying more in my mouth because I was like, okay, this shit does not work. This stuff is not working. I should be high, I've seen my brother high, all of his friends. I've seen my older sister high, and I was like, hey, why is this not working? I should be high right now. How high is my tolerance, I have been drunk a couple times here and there, and I was a lightweight, obviously. So I was thinking oh, maybe for weed I'm not a lightweight. Well, no, I still was a lightweight. Anyway, so one thing I didn't know about the spray is they said, oh yeah, it's gonna kick in later. It's not gonna kick in right away. So I was waiting for an hour, and it's not kicking in yet. So I'm like, hey, this stuff obviously did not do anything to me. I don't know, my tolerance is too high, or this stuff is expired, or whatever. But I know that they were spraying stuff in their mouth, and I'm pretty sure they were high. They to me, they don't seem very high, but for me, I was like, okay, this should be getting me high, but it really wasn't. So we're sitting around the fire, and my brother and all of his friends, they're tripping on mushrooms, they're just talking and hanging out. And all of a sudden, so I'm kind of sleeping at this point. I'm just kind of closing my eyes because I'm friends with them, but they're having their own conversation. I'm not gonna be the annoying younger brother and be butting in, and they were talking. So I was just kind of closing my eyes, dozing off, and all of a sudden I kind of wake up, and I'm like, I look around and my vision is blurry. Like, I had been drunk a couple times, but at this point I was like, okay, like, there is definitely something, I'm definitely high, or, because I didn't know what the feeling was, you know? Like, you always say, oh, this is what it's supposed to look like drunk, this is what it's supposed to look like high, or on mushrooms, or acid, or whatever the occasion is. But you don't really know unless you actually are. You don't really know what to expect. People can tell you, oh, it's like this, it's like that. But you don't know until you experience it yourself. Just take that. Just take my advice on that. And so I looked around and everything was blurry. And I was like, okay, I am definitely high. And I look over at my brother and the other two of them. And I was like, guys, I think I'm high right now. And they're just like laughing. They're like, really? I was like, yeah, like, I think I'm really high right now. And I was really high. Like, my first time getting high, I got like really high. I don't know how I didn't throw, but I didn't throw up. But I was like really high. And so then my brother's like, shut up. Go and put some more firewood on the fire. So I get up and I swear to God, I almost tumble forward. Like, my vision was blurry everywhere. I got up and standing, I was tipsy. Like, I was like drunk. And I was like thinking, high is different than drunk. I'm not gonna be tipsy or anything. I was tipsy while I was high. And I almost fell in the fire. Thank God I did not, because that would have not been good. My brother and all of his friends tripping on mushrooms. Me, high as fuck, falling in a fire. That just would have not been good. So I end up getting up and I walk over to behind my chair where there's the logs of fire to throw in the fire. And I bend down and my head, just like all the blood rushes down, and it felt like I was almost falling. Like, I swear I was falling down when I bent down. Now, I didn't actually fall down, but I think I almost stumbled. The night is quite of a blur, but I still remember like the main parts. So I grabbed the log and I'm like carrying it over and I put it on the fire. And I sit back down and I'm just like, I'm really high. Like, I am really high now at this point. And I know I am. I'm like, okay, I'm definitely high because like, I'm not sober. Like, I'm not normal. So I was like, I was like, sit over. I was like, guys, like, I'm really high. And like, so I was like laughing for a while and talking. And then I was just thinking like, is life even real? Like, the stuff that goes through your head when you're high is just like crazy. Like, you know, and if you were on even like being like, weed is not even like it's not even a super like serious drug where it can get you like all in your head. Like, there's way more serious drugs that like will do way more, obviously. But like, even just being high the first time, or even if you get super baked, and you still do get in your feelings, like way more than being drunk. When you're drunk, you're just stupid, you know. But when you're high, you're still stupid, but like you think more, and your senses are like enhanced. So like, I swear, like, I don't even know what was going through my head, but at one point, I know I looked up in the sky, and I swear to God, I know this sound like I was like on like mushrooms. Like, I was not on mushrooms, my brother was, but it sounded like I almost was, because I swear to you, I seen spaceships in the sky. I swear I seen spaceships in the sky. Like, I don't even know what happened, but I was just looking up and I was laughing. And my brother and his friends the next day said that, yeah, I told them that there were spaceships in the sky. And long story short, I was just a mess that night. But like, the stuff that goes on in your head, like when you're thinking like, oh yeah, like there's spaceships in the sky, and then like I felt like I was on a TV reality show, you know, like when like you're looking out the window and then you like think of a clip of like a TV show when like that's like the main character and they're looking out the window, and then you feel like the main character and you think of music in your head or whatever and you feel like you're in the movie. Yeah, that's how I was sitting in that chair, but except like it felt like 10 times realer. And yeah, it was just pretty crazy. And I mean, it was fun, but I definitely could not handle that. That was way too much THC. Like, I don't know, I think I took like 20 like sprays in my mouth. And like, I was a smaller, not like super small, but like I wasn't big like I am now. Obviously, like this was a couple years ago, so I was younger and I was smaller, so my tolerance was not there yet at all. But yeah, that's like my first time getting high. It was really crazy, and the stuff that was going on was just crazy. Like, it was bonkers, guys. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's story. If you did, hopefully I'll see you guys in our next video. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Peace.